Hello children, welcome to today's class. In the previous class, we have discussed about the nationalistic and democratic revolutions, how the world was divided. We have seen ancient period, medieval period, early modern period and modern period. So, the present what we are living is a modern period. We have discussed how we have entered into the modern period, what all changes have happened, how this world has become a global village, how the MNCs have existed. These all we have learned. And before going to that, what are the three changes, what three revolutions happened in this world we have discussed, that is democratic revolution, scientific revolution and industrial revolution. These are the three great revolutions happened in the world. Today's world, what we have reached to the modern world, before that these three revolutions happened in the modern world. And because of these, today we are enjoying the fruits. In the early modern period, what we have discussed, they went and they searched the sea routes and trade has been started, because what we are seeing the international market is because of the people who have worked at that time. And we have seen the revolutions, that is how these democratic revolutions happened. Previously we have learned that monarchy rule was there. From monarchy rule to democratic rule, how the transformation has happened, we have seen in the previous two classes about the American independence and glorious revolution. We have discussed in the glorious revolution, that is bloodless revolution, how the people have revolted. Later we have seen in American independence also. Today we will see one more revolution, that is the French revolution. You know, in the map children, where is France? You can identify in the world map where is France. So, French revolution, what happened in the French? Who were ruling the French at that time? In 1774 CE, Louis XVI became a king of the France. Who was the king of France children? Louis XVI. In 1774 CE, CE means in the common era, he was ruling the France. So, at that time the treasure was totally empty in the France. Why the treasure was empty? What happened in the king? Because this France king, he has helped the American. In the American independence, we have discussed how they have fought for their 13 colonies, how that 13 colonies became independent, how they had a fight with the Britain, English Parliament. They have occupied these 13 colonies in America. So, who has helped them? They have war with them. Who had helped them financially? France has helped these American 13 colonies. So, as France has helped them this to make the American colonies independent, what happened? The treasure become totally empty. So, what they now France is totally into debt. So, what they have decided, whenever the government don't have money, what is that they do? Today also we see economically we are depressed today also throughout the world because of this COVID-19. We are totally economically we have depressed. Economical depression is going on. So, at this time the government don't have money. So, what they do? What is the alternate they do? They raise the taxes. That is the only one thing they can do, is they have to raise the taxes so that they can meet the expenditures to meet the maintenance of the people, a court, army, government, universities, everything. To maintain that they need money. So, France also at that time they were facing the lack of money. Financial crisis were there because they have spent whatever money was there with them to help the American colonies. So, what that Louis XVI has decided, he decided to increase the taxes. So, before he wanted to increase the taxes, he has to look to the society. How is the society? Will the society people will pay the taxes? Let's see what was the economic condition in the France. Economical condition. So, France society was divided at that time into three estates children. That first estate was called as clergy, second estate was nobility, and the third estate belongs to all the common people, which include the business people, merchants, court officials, lawyers, peasants, artisans, landless labor, servants. These all belong to the third estate. So, it was divided into three estates in 18th century. First estate, what children? Clergy. Second estate, nobles. Third estate, the common people. So, here 90% of the people belong to the common. Third estate, how much percentage? 90% of the people belong to the third estate. Clergies and nobility. The first and second estate people will enjoying all the privileges. They were dominating the third estate people, mostly the clergies and the nobles. these people, aristocrat families, they were dominating. Most of the land was in the hands of the first and second estate, and this third estate people has to work for them. And not only that, first and second estate, they were not at all paying the taxes, they were free from taxes. So, who are the bearers here? The third estate people are the bearers to pay the tax. Third estate, total the tax was on the third estate people, and who were enjoying all the privileges? First and second estate people were enjoying all the privileges. So, here the peasants were forced to pay the tax. The tax, even the church was also forcing them to pay the tax, which is called as tithe. Tithe means according to the church, whatever 10% of their earnings they have to pay as tax, that is called as tithe. That is a tax, direct tax and indirect tax, both taxes it was paid on the third estate people. These third estate people has to pay the taxes. Directly they have to pay on tobacco, on their fields, whatever they earn, everything it is paid only by the third estate people. And one side they have to pay to the church people also, they have extracted in the name of tithe. So, only the third estate people were the sufferers. That is the indirect tax what they were paying to the church, and direct tax is called as tithe to the government. So, this has been a burden to the people. The third estate people were unable to bear this tax, and what happened, when you are suppressed by someone, a revolution starts. So, as the population is more into the third estate, these people started revolting because they wanted justice. They thought that only first and second estate people are enjoying the privileges. What about the third estate people? What crime they have done? They thought of that. So, a new social middle class has grown. New social middle class means in third estate also people started educating. Previously educated people were not there. So, people started educating in the third estate people. Professors came, lawyers, administrative officials, these all people, rich wealthy group started. Why? Because these people were traveling around the world and doing the business, and they were earning wealth. So, when they were earning wealth, what happened? A third estate has wealth has increased and people become little rich economically. They are strong now in third estate people. Why this transformation and change came in a people? Because at that time the philosophers were there. As we have seen, a middle class was growing economically and educationally, they were growing. A third estate philosophers were there. Who were their philosophers? John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. These philosophers, they have inspired the people with their thoughts. What kind of thoughts? They have written a book, that is the two treatises of government. In these two treatises of government, they have discussed how the monarchy rule should end and it should be the people's rule. They have to work for the people. In this, they have clearly explained about the social contract, means a ruler should come from the people, a representative should come from the people. So, they have explained very clearly in two treatises of government, and one more book, the Spirit of the Law. In the Spirit of the Law, they have explained that presently we are seeing that the government is divided into three categories: legislature, executive and judiciary. Children, these from where they have taken? It is taken from the Spirit of the Law. This Spirit of the Law, it was explaining clearly about the executive, legislature and judiciary, these three blocks from the Spirit of the Law. So, in that Spirit of the Law, they have explained that the power should be divided into three blocks: legislature, executive and judiciary. The modern government, which even the USA and other governments were also following this written by from the book. They have taken, most of the countries have taken the executive, judiciary and legislature from the Spirit of the Law book. Even the American Constitution also, it has mostly inspired by the third estate, what the revolution, most of the world, this French revolution was inspired by throughout the world, how the people have revolted. This revolution is a great revolution in the history, because most of the population from third estate has revolted towards the first and second estate. So, these people, what they have done, these third estate people, economically they are good now, they are sound, professionals are there, professors are there, administratively they are strong. Now, they started raising their voice. Why? Because they were inspired by the three books. One book is 2 treaties of government, second book is the spirit of the law, third book is the social contract, written by Rousseau. In this, he has clearly mentioned about how the democratic rule should be there. So, these 3 books was inspired by the third estate people. So, what happened? This revolution grew more stronger. So, outbreak of revolution has started on 5th May 1789 CE. What now? The Louis wanted to increase the tax. Whenever you wanted to increase the tax, even today if the government wants to increase any tax, okay. On 5th May 1789 CE, Lord Louis XVI, what he called the third estate people for meeting. Today's government also, whenever they want to increase any tax or whenever they want to pass any law, they will have a meeting. We have seen an assembly meeting will be there. There they will propose whatever the government wants to do, and that should be approved by the all the members, cabinet members. Today's also government also follows the same rule. At that time also Louis, now he wanted to increase the tax. Now what he has to do? He has called all the 3 estate peoples, the first estate, second estate and the third estate people. At that time, as it was a monarchy rule, voting system was not there. Today we have a voting system. At that time no voting, means voting system was there, but estate wise, first estate, second estate, third estate, each estate has one vote. So the king decided to go with a voting system. Whoever votes for the, whoever is agreeing with the Louis XVI that increase of tax, they have to vote. Now these third estate people got very angry, aggressive. Why they became aggressive? Because if they go according to the voting system, the first and second estate will be giving vote to the favor of king. Why? Because they anyhow will not pay the taxes. Who are the tax bearers here? Third estate people. So anyhow the first and second estate, if they vote to the king, then their majority will be more and the complete tax will be levied on the third estate people. So they don't want this. They all went there. You can see into the picture, all the people, the first and second estate people, arrangement was there. They were sitting. Then who were standing back? The standing people are the third estate people. See how the discrimination is there in the court of the king at that time. The first estate and second estate very neatly, cleanly they are seated. Respect. And third estate people, there is no respect for them. They were standing like pillars into the court. And each estate, first and second estate, this 300 members went to that meeting. These 300 members were sitting into 2 sides of the rows. You can clearly see into that picture. From third estate people, 600 representatives went and they were standing back. So these people were peasants, artisans and women were not allowed. At that time the peasants mean the farmers, artisans, those who do small works, and women were passive citizens. They were not an active citizens. They were not involved into anything. So these all people, they went to the meeting and they demanded that, they expressed their demands, third estate people. So all the people can't go, 90% of the population can't reach to the court. So what they have done? They have expressed in letters, 40,000 letters they have written, and these all people, what they have done? They have expressed to the king. As I have explained, voting system was not there, and Rousseau has written in his book the social contract. So these all people, they have revolted to the king. So as the king did not accept in that meeting, what they have done? They have came out. You see now, they come out from the assembly. When something is not accepted, they come out from the assembly making sounds. So here also in the tennis court, they came out from the assembly and they went to the tennis court to take a oath. What is that oath they have taken? All the representatives, whoever went to the third estate, they came back out of that meeting. They went to tennis court vote, means they went to Versailles. It is a Versailles. A leader was there, as you will have a representative, a leader among that people. His name was Mirabeau. This Mirabeau, what he has done, he took all the people on June 20th, 1789. What he has done? They have met in an indoor tennis court in the grounds of Versailles under the leadership of Mirabeau, Abbezes and Bailly. So these people, these three leaders, they have declared themselves as National Assembly. This is the first step in the French Revolution, which they came out from the monarchy rule and they started a National Assembly, a group they have made and called it at National Assembly. And they promised, they took a oath means what? They took a promise that they will draft a constitution for the French people, that is the third estate people, and monarchy rule should be to the end. That is the first step they have took, and they took a vote that they will complete the drafting of constitution in spite of lot of disturbance. When this all was happening, how was the situation in the France? People were totally disturbed. Why? Because winter was there and crops were not grown much. Extreme winter was there, totally the crops were ruined and the price of bread has increased, and this situation was very worst. Economically and financially crisis were going on in the French, and even the people were in a crowds. They were, the woman can't bear the children without feeding them the bread. So what they have done, they went into the bakeries, they can't wait for a long, they went into the shops and they have grabbed everything. Means totally disturbance, violence was spread in the France, and the king, what he has done, he couldn't bear this. He has sent his troops to kill them and destroy them. On July 14th, the angry crowd forcefully they have entered and they have destroyed the Bastille and hated prison that represented the complete monarchy. So that day celebrated as National Day of France. This day, which day on 14th July, people became aggressive and they were destroying all the king's things. So that day they have declared themselves as a National Day of France. So after seeing the power of revolting, when the Louis XVI has seen the power of revolting, the people were revolting, what he has done, finally he gave a recognition to the National Assembly, and he accepted the principle that his powers would be limited. From then onwards, the king understood that his power is weakened. So what he has done, he has given acceptance to the National Assembly. From that day onwards, his powers are limited now. Most of the laws were passed by the feudal systems of taxes and other obligations. The members of clergy and the church people were also forced to pay the taxes. From then onwards, even the clergy and the noble people also are supposed to pay the taxes. So how the France became a constitutional monarchy? Constitutional monarchy means king will be there, but limited powers will be there, and other representative parliament will be there. The powers will be in the hands of the parliament. We have seen in the Glorious Revolution also, even we have seen in the American independence also. So this National Assembly, when it has formed in 1791, what see, they have reduced the powers of the monarch, and now the powers were in the hands of the whom? This National Assembly people, the persons, and they were now separated and given a separate institution, as they have read in the social contract, 2 treaties of government, and also one more book, the Spirit of Law. In the Spirit of Law, it has been divided into 3 bodies. I already said. What is that? Executive, legislature and judiciary. So the France has become a constitutional monarchy in 1791. This constitution of 1791, it gave the National Assembly the powers to make the laws. So all the citizens at that time got the right to vote. Not all the citizens, only the citizens who have the land and who have completed 25 years of age and who paid the taxes are only the active citizens who have the right to vote. Presently, what is the age for the children? What is the age of right to vote, children? It is 18 years. Whoever completes the 18 years has the right to vote. But when French in 1781, whoever completed 25 years, or not only 25 years, that person should pay the tax. When he has paid the tax, then he will become an active citizen, then he has the right to vote. So to become an elector of the member, they have to pay the highest taxpayers. They should be the highest taxpayers. The constitution began to declaration of right to man of the citizen. In the next page, you have the declaration of right of man, that we will see later. So rights, like what rights they have given, they have written in their constitution. The presently we have the fundamental rights. These all rights from where our India has taken. They have referred all the books. We have seen when drafting the constitution, they have referred all countries a constitution book. So these also he took from the French Revolution, that is from American, from French. We have collected from all the constitutions and drafted our Indian constitution. Like what was there in French constitution? That rights such as right to life, freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before law, these all were considered as natural and inalienable rights. Natural and inalienable rights means these rights are given by the birth. No one will give you the right. Every citizen have these rights from their birth. It means it's natural. Means monarch, in the monarchy rule, the monarch or the king, they are not the people who will give the rights to us. Not at present also, it's not the government is giving us rights. It is from the birth. And natural rights, it means that each human being by birth could not take away these rights. No one can take away the rights from any human being. So it was a duty of the government to protect the citizens. So how in this box you can understand who were the active citizens and who were the passive citizens, and how the powers has been divided. As we have seen, three bodies: judiciary, executive and legislature. So in legislature, the National Assembly is there. In that, electors are there who is having the right of vote. Then in the executive body, you have king and ministers, but the control is not completely to the king. And we have a judiciary also, judges. So these all, only the active citizens are 4 millions of the population. Out of 28 millions, 4 million people were the active citizens. Why? Because these 4 millions were paying the tax. Then who are the passive citizens? Passive citizens means they don't have any rights and they don't have any right to involve in any activity. No voting rights. 3 million men and women, children, youth below 25 years, they all are into the passive citizens. So here in the next page you have the Declaration of Right of Man and Citizen of the man. What they have written only for the man. What are the rights? The declaration. In this page, these are only 10 rights he has mentioned here. Main important rights are here. Complete, it is not complete, it is incomplete. So only 10 rights, the main rights, what it is important, it is declared here. Let's see once and we will read this. I'll read for you the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. The first right: men are born and remain free and equal in rights. First is what? Men are born and they remain free and they have equal rights. The second, the aim of every political association is the preservation of the natural and inalienable rights of man. These are liberty, property, security and resistance of oppression. The third one is the source of all sovereignty resides in the nation. No group of individual may exercise authority that does not come from the people. Fourth one, liberty consists of the power to do whatever is not injurious to others. Fifth, the law has the right to forbid only actions that are injurious to society. Sixth, law is the expression of the general will. All citizens have the right to participate in its formation personally or through their representatives. All citizens are equal before it. No man may be accused, arrested or detained except in cases determined by the law. Every citizen may speak, write and print freely. He must take responsibility for the abuse of such liberty in cases determined by the law. For the maintenance of the public force and for the expenses of administration, a common tax is indispensable. It must be assessed equally on all citizens in proportion or it means. Last, that is the 10th one, since property is sacred and inviolable right, no one may be deprived of it unless a legally established public necessity requires it. In that case, a just compensation must be given in advance. So these are the declaration of the rights for the man. Only 10 rights are there. They have drafted the constitution and in that constitution they have given some rights to the men. So what happened when the French has become the when National Assembly, the constitution monarchy, when it has become, what happened? The course of revolt, people, the course of revolt we will see. The reformers were not satisfied. Whoever the reformers were there who have drafted this National Assembly, they were not satisfied. So, what they have done, these all people, they came together in a political clubs and they were discussing about the plans of the government, the policies, the plans and actions. But the most successful people of this club were Jacobins. They were called as Jacobins. So, which name it's called as a Mr. Jacob, he was a convent Saint Jacob in Paris. These all members on the name of Jacob, it was called as Jacobin Club. In these Jacobin clubs, the shopkeepers, artisans, shoemakers, pastry cooks, watchmakers, printers, all those who were doing daily wages, these all people joined into that group because these people were ignored in the society. Whatever laws were made after the transformation, the change also, the France has become the constitutional monarchy. After that also what happened, these people, what they have done, they have ignored the low class people. So, in summer 1792, in 1791 National Assembly, the constitution was drafted, but in 1792 the members of Jacobin, what they have done, they want to revolt now. We have seen in the history, whenever someone is suppressed, they revolt. Now these people also, the common people, the low class people, they started revolting, and a large number of people, they went into the Paris and they were angry because the short supply of food was there, the prices were very high. So on morning of August 10, what they have done, they have entered into the palace of Tuileries forcefully. They have killed the king's guards and held the king as hostage for several hours. They kept as a house arrest the king. Later the National Assembly voted to imprison the royal family. All the National Assembly took a decision to imprison, to put in the prison all the royal family. Then the National Assembly was dissolved. Whatever the National Assembly was formed, it was dissolved and elections were held. From then onwards, a change has happened. Previously 25 years, whoever paid the highest tax were the right to vote, that people were having the right to vote. Now it has been changed. What is that now? The men who have completed 21 years has the right to vote, regardless if he is having a wealth, he paid the tax or not, nothing is there. If he has finished 21 years, he is having the right to vote. The newly elected assembly, now called as convention. First, children, remember the changes. First, monarchy rule was there, then National Assembly was drafted and constitution was drafted, National Assembly was formed. Later National Assembly was dissolved. In which year? In 1792. Then what was formed? Convention was formed. What is this convention? In this, the elected members were Grenadiers, Jacobins and common people were there. On September 21, 1792 CE, this convention also was banned. Again, because people were not satisfied with the changes, this convention also was banned and the monarchy and declared France a republic. So in 1792 CE, it was declared as republic. France has become republic. Louis XVI and Queen Mary Antoinette were sentenced to death. They were put to death in 1793 CE. What is that? Reign of Terror. That period of 1793 and 1794, this period, what happened? We have seen a change has happened. How the king and queen were put to death, we will see in this para. The reign of terror means the period of 1793 to 1794 CE. This period is called as reign of terror. Why? Because Robespierre was there, he was a leader. We have seen the Jacobin club. This Jacobin club, who was a leader? Robespierre was the leader and he was very strict man. He gives a strict control and keeps strict control and gives strict punishments to the people. Even his people also he will not spare. So he arrested, imprisoned and tried the people who were against to his rules. So he included all ex-nobles were there, clergies were there and political parties, whoever are not listening to him, he felt it as guilty and he used to gluttonized. They see a picture, guillotine means they will tie hands and legs and they will put, and that machine will come and cut their head. The head will fall into that bucket. You can clearly see what was a strict punishment. It's called as guilty and they were guillotined. So Robespierre government issued laws placing an upper limit on wages of prices. All the people allowed to have only a fixed amount. He see what are the rules he has given. All the prices are equal to everyone. and the wages are equal to everyone, and the people are the limit is there is a limitation of amount to buy the meat and bread. They can't go and buy whatever they want, there is a limit. And peasants were forced to sell the grains in the city itself to the government. We have seen the KCR, what he is doing now, he is saying whatever you have produced, the crops you have to sell to the government only. In that time he also played the same rule, the fixed price will be given to the government and the people should go and sell to the government. And the use of white flour is forbidden. Wheat, what the white flour is there, they should not use, that is maida, it is forbidden, they should not use that. And all the citizens were required to eat a plain delight, that is equality to bread, a plain bread they have to eat, a loaf of bread made by whole wheat. Churches were shut down, the churches, whichever churches were there, Romans, the church people were dominating, the churches were put to shut down, and then that churches were into the offices. So this Robespierre, he has implemented strictly rule. Finally the people were vexed with this Robespierre, this strict rule they couldn't bear. So in 1794 what they have done, they have arrested Robespierre and they sent him to the same punishment what he was given to all the people, that is guillotine. So even Robespierre was guillotined on 1794. Hope you have understood this lesson, children. In the next session I will explain you what was the position of women in the French Revolution. So before I wind up, let's go to the assignment. You have to write now about the French Revolution. What has happened in the French? You write in your own words in point wise, children. Okay. Thank you, children. Have a great day.